her social engagement. So she's making friends and she feels accepted, and she has been given the tools and the strategies to actually advocate for herself and her learning uniqueness.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
Oh, that's a great question. Pretty serendipitous, actually. So we were at another private school, a Montessori-based learning system, which suited my daughter really well initially. And it's a fantastic school with a great learning philosophy, except we learned towards the end of her senior kindergarten year that she just has a different learning system altogether. Her brain works a little differently. So with the help of therapists and educational consultant, we did some assessments and we did some classroom observations and got a report based on the learning style that best suits Adrienne. And so with that, we got a short list of schools. Dunblaine was at the top of the school. Top of the list. It also happens to be, less than a kilometer away from our house. So we went in for a half-day interview and consulting discussion, if you will. Adrienne was also able to spend some time in the classroom, and that really solidified that it was the right environment for her. Just from the moment she walked in the door, the level of instruction, the ease of just sort of being in the environment, the way the classrooms are structured, the teacher's approaches really made her feel very comfortable and very connected to the environment. So it wasn't much of a decision. So so we made the change kind of in short order, really within a couple of weeks after receiving the results and having the interview. She's responded very, very favorably. I'd say predominantly it's characterized by her level of confidence and her social engagement. So she's making friends and she feels accepted, and she has been given the tools and the strategies to actually advocate for herself and her learning uniqueness. She's just in a better mood, fewer meltdowns in the evenings due to pent-up stress from a day's school. So a lot of that has been alleviated. She's just generally a more well-adjusted, more calmer, and less anxiety, and generally just a happier child. I'd say she would characterize Dunblaine as a place that teaches her the way she wants to be. It's actually verbatim what she would say. Dunblaine is better than her former school because she has friends and her teachers understand her. I would say the small, focused nature of the teaching strategy, which treats the child as an individual, but then also, that individual kind of coexisting in a broader ecosystem of other students and teachers and other community members is essential. Yeah, the teachers talk a lot about, and I've adopted this in my own vernacular, providing scaffolding for students at Dunblaine. So whether, it's, Adrienne or her peers, each one of them has some different learning exceptions. And notwithstanding those differences, they provide each individual child with step-by-step kind of direct instruction on how to achieve a particular objective, and providing that scaffolding in a consistent, methodical way really enables the child to take on those strategies and then apply them generally in all aspects of not just academia or social life, but just in the broader context of the world. And there's a real genuine vested interest in a given child in their development, and really bringing them out of their. A lot of students coming to Dunblaine feel very lost and don't have a sense of their own selves and personalities, and they're not honoring a lot of their uniqueness. And what Dunblaine does is give them that ability to really be themselves, but be the best version of themselves. Well, because of the small nature of the school, some of the programs that may be more prevalent in larger schools just simply don't exist. So I would say, certain competitive sports perhaps are quite limited, and experiences like maybe, dances or kind of like those student activities that are social and athletic in nature, because it is a very small, intimate school. And I would say because of the specialized nature of the learning environment, the pool of candidates in terms of teachers maybe quite limited. So I've seen some teachers come and go, and in some cases, sad to see some teachers go. It would be nice to have a little bit more continuity, but realizing that that it is, specialized, and that and not always the right fit for a particular teacher, that could be a bit challenging. So I'd say those two things predominantly. The teachers really go above and beyond, more than I ever expected, even in a small school. Like, for example, we put my daughter through some learning assessments, and in the readout portion, our teacher at the time wanted to attend in person. She asked permission to attend, and she thought by hearing the psychologist's analysis of Adrienne could help support her even more. And I thought, well, that's definitely going above and beyond. And another example of that, and this goes across a number of teachers, their willingness to stay after school and enable them some additional tutoring, and then even to the extent where they might be willing to stay back so that the parents can come a little bit later to pick them up, so to accommodate for a family schedule. I mean, it's just a very intimate, family-focused, child-focused environment. So I would say, in a positive way, that would be the biggest surprise, is that they really do go above and beyond in a very caring way. Yeah. Celebration of uniqueness, I would say, is probably comes to mind without overthinking it, and supporting the whole child, not just the academic child or the social child or the athletic child, but the whole child, in helping them form their own special, unique little identity, and being able to bring that out. I would say that's probably very key to Dunblaine. Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Typical family at Dunblaine, we're a very diverse community. We have, two parents, one parents, parents of different genders, parents of different cultural backgrounds. We have children who are they're the only child, and we have children who are among a number of different siblings. I would say what we have in common in terms of our values as families is a sense of humility, a humility such that we have children that may not have necessarily, been thriving in a mainstream learning environment, but we know that they have incredible will and potential, and humility such that we belong in a school environment that's certainly not mainstream, but enable our children to have that experience of learning in their own special way that accommodates for their uniqueness. So having the humility to be a part of that and to be engaged in that and to be vocal and unabashed about advocating for our children is what we all have in common. The school attempts to pull together the families throughout the year to honor holidays, to kick off the new year or to close the school year. Graduation ceremonies are always inclusive of the entire school. So that really allows the families to be united. And then more informally, a few of the parents who have been there a number of years have established a friendship among a few of the families, and we get our kids together, and we support our children to play together and do various activities, including camps together. So both informally and formally, we really do try to unite as a community. Well, the feedback I've received in that regard, so my daughter started off and this is not unique to just Adrian, but I'm seeing it materialize in my daughter. She joined Dunblaine at age, I want to say 6.5, 7, and now at age 12. Developmentally, they're different people anyway, but I would say, again, back to the confidence. So she started off a very shy, introverted child. And while she still is that, she does have the confidence in her place at the school and her role at the school that she went from being a student that was mentored to now a student that wants to mentor. So her leadership competencies are really developing, and it's in a very kind of like, simple example of that. When we have our annual open house for other families to explore Dunblaine for their own children, she takes the initiative to actually do a school tour for that student. And under normal circumstances, she would never feel comfortable enough to engage with a stranger, but she just feels such a sense of belonging and such a level of confidence of the school, the classrooms, the teachers, that she volunteered to do that once or twice. And I thought that's a good testament to the development she's experiencing at Dunblaine. Yeah, of course. I can't say enough positive things about the teachers. I think that to be a special ed teacher in and of itself, is so remarkably special. But to put into practice from a Dunblaine context, the way their classrooms are facilitated and organized and resourced is done with a lot of thought and a lot of attention to detail, from placement of desks to the fidget toys or curriculum that has a certain sequence that enables children who may have attentional challenges to, let's say, get some physical exercise before they sit down and do math, for example, to really boost their capability in that way. So I'd say, it's extremely specialized, but well thought out and also very well executed. I would say the first is your child's going to get the support that she or he needs from a general development point of view, starting with how they learn, not just what they learn, but how they go about learning. Second reason, it's a great community of teachers and parents that is founded on open dialogue and communication. And the third being the child's confidence. I'd say that's essential. If you're in a situation where your child isn't thriving or shining in her or his current school environment, Dunblaine will be the right school to help your child develop a sense of self and a sense of ability to go through their childhood and to develop and to thrive. An open mind. Yeah, I would say, you know, keeping an open mind and an open heart, and to give it a chance, right? I think it's a kind of school where, because it is a smaller environment, it's easy to maybe overlook because of the fact that it may not have the, you know, some of the big programs that the bigger schools might offer, like this competitive sports and the school dances and various socials. But if your child needs individual attention and more intensive support in order to build learning strategies, I would say this is the right school for you. You really have to embrace the school and the philosophy and almost bring it into your home in the same way that you would, you know, an extension of you know, a system that actually supports your children. So yeah, an open heart is very essential.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.